Matapos kumpirmahin ng Philippine Statistics Authority o PSA na wala sa kanilang database record sina Mary Piattos at Kokoy Villamin, tinatayang nasa 677 katao raw ang nais ding ipaberipika ng Kamara sa PSA na pawang mga benepisyaryo umano ng confidential funds ni Vice President Sara Duterte. Sumulat na si House Committee on Good Government and Public Accountability Chairman Joel Chua sa PSA upang matulungan silang maiberipika ang mga taong nasa listahan daw ng Office of the Vice President. Ibinahagi ang kopya ng nasabing liham na ipinadala ni Representative Chua sa PSA kung saan isinasaad nito na beripikasyon daw ng civil registry sa kapanganakan, kasal o kamatayan ng mga pangalang kanilang ipinadala sa nasabing ahensya. May we request for the verification of the civil registry documents, birth, marriage, and death of the names in the attached list relative to the investigation being conducted by the committee. Ani Chua sa kanyang liham. If even 1 peso was spent improperly, it is our responsibility to find out and hold those responsible to account. Ensuring the authenticity of these recipients is crucial for maintaining transparency and accountability in the use of public funds. We are committed to uncovering the truth behind these transactions. Dagdag pa ni Chua. Matatandaang noong November 5, 2024, naghinala at kinwestiyon ng committee ang mga liquidation reports na isinumite at ipinakita ng Office of the Vice President sa Commission on Audit. Kaugnay pa rin ng umanay pagkamit nila ng 612.5 million pesos confidential funds kasama ang Department of Education na nasa ilalim noon ng pamumuno ni Vice President Sara Duterte bago niya bitawan ang pagiging kalihim ng nasabing sektor. Nakakita ang mga mambabatas ng mga inconsistencies sa mga resibo, kabilang ang mga hindi tama o nawawalang petsa. Kathang isip ng mga pangalan at pagkakatulad sa tinta at pagsulat na nagdulot sa kanila ng hinala na ang mga resibo ay maaring gawa-gawa o inimbento lamang. Ang Mary Piattos ang notable name na ibinunyag sa mga pagdinig ng committee kung saan sinabi ng mga mambabatas na hindi kapani-paniwala para sa isang tao na ipangalan sa isang Filipino-based cafe at potato chip brand. Matatandaang nauna nang kumpirmahin ng PSA na wala raw silang nahanap na anumang record na magpapatunay sa pagkatao ni na Mary Piattos at Kokoy Villamin na kapwa pirmado sa ilang mga resibo ng Office of the Vice President at Department of Education. Ibinunyag ng PSA sa committee noong Lunes, December 2, na ang pangalang Mary Piattos ay hindi lumalabas sa kanilang civil registry system. Noong Miyerkules, December 4, kinumpirma din ng PSA na wala ring pangalan ni Kokoy Villamin sa kanilang database records. Pinuna din ng committee ang ilang acknowledgement receipts na naglalaman ng sulat kamay na kapareho ng kay Kokoy Villamin. Nakasaad sa mga acknowledgement receipts na ang mga benepisyaryo ay nakatanggap ng mga halagang mula 40,000 pesos hanggang 100,000 pesos na ang kabuuang bilang ng mga bogus na resibo ay nagkakahalaga ng 23.8 million pesos.
Si Congresswoman Jervil Luistro ng 2nd District ng Batangas at Vice Chairperson ng House Committee on Public Accountability. Magandang umaga po, Congresswoman.
Good morning, kabayan, and thank you for having me here again in your program.
Okay.
Yun po, Kabayan Committee ay tama po kayo.
Opo.
This is not Quadcom, this is Committee on Good Governance at ito po ang counterpart ng Senate Blue Ribbon Committee.
Ayun na. So, Congresswoman Jinky, kahapon po ang napansin namin na nag-focus kayo sa yung mga resibo ng
That is true, kabayan. Ang mga kasama natin dito sa good governance ay mayroon ng mga na-establish na findings, no? In addition dun sa mga receipts na ipinakita kahapon.
Okay.
So far, ay na-establish na natin na yung 16 million ginamit sa safe house in a period of 11 days. At na-establish din natin na meron palang payola envelope na ipinamimigay sa DepEd. And ultimately, na-establish din natin na yung 15 million na confidential fund ng DepEd di umano ay ginamit sa Youth Leadership Summit.
ng Army.
itinanggi ito kabayan
Ha?
ng AFP. They said
Ay, ganun?
that they did not receive
Oo.
any fund from the Department of
Ay,
Education.
sos, Ginoo.
Para
Okay.
po sa guidance ng ating mga listeners, kabayan, what we are investigating here ay ang naging pondo po ng OVP at saka ng Department of Education. As a matter of fact, hindi lamang po confidential fund ang atin pong tinitingnan, maging ang regular fund din. At kanina kabayan, nabanggit mo itong mga resibo,
Oo.
itong mga acknowledgement
Opo,
receipts.
opo.
Medyo nasusurprise kami kasi mukhang pare-parehas yung stroke ng kanilang ballpen. Pare-parehas din yung ballpen na ginamit. And ang medyo nakakaaliw pa, siguro nauubusan na ng pangalan. Merong na-encounter dito si Congressman Acop. Ang pangalan ng nag-receive ay Mary Grace Piattos. No? Mary Grace, di ba, restaurant yan? Piattos, ito yung chicheria. So,
Ano ba
medyo
yan?
kami nahihiwagaan dito sa mga nakikita namin. Yung iba, very obvious from the way we are, from our own examination, although we understand na dapat ito ay subject natin sa mga experts sa pag-examine ng handwriting, no? Pero, through our naked eyes, we could see na parang iisa ang sumulat o pumirma.
Yung
And
ballpen
then,
na ginamit po, isa din?
very particular.
Pati kulay.
Number of acknowledgement receipts, same color, same thickness, same nature of ink ang lumalabas, no? May napansin din tayong mga pagkakamali na instead na 2022 ang napapalagay nila is 2023, no? Instead of 2022, 2023 ang napapalagay nila. At ang dami nito na mga kinorek din nila, mukhang kabayan, mukhang nagipit sa panahon to be able to come up with all these acknowledgments.
Nagmadali.
Yes, because we understand that during that time ay may mga AOM sila, Audit Observation Memo, at sila'y pinapasagot ng COA. Pero hindi pa tayo tapos dito, kabayan. No? We will look into this deeper, no? At siguro ang maganda rin nating i-share sa ating mga listeners and viewers today ay kahapon po ay isa sa mga resource speaker natin. Resource person ay ang Chief Accountant ng DepEd. Si Ms. Catalan, ako'y labis na naaawa sa kanya, ano?
Bakit po?
Sapagkat siya po ay pinaperma dito sa liquidation report ng confidential fund. Kahit questionable itong mga documents, ay she was made to sign. Although, palagi ko niyang ini-insist na hindi daw naman siya punersa, siya daw naman ay pinakiusapan lang pumerma. Kaya kabayan, yung pakiusap na yon may kasamang envelope na naglalaman ng 25,000.
Naku po.
And
para pumirma siya.
Yes, kabayan. That is from February hanggang September of 2023. At naalala mo, kabayan, ito rin yung period na nagli-liquidate ng confidential fund ang Department of Education. Nakakalungkot, kabayan, no? Sapagkat itong Department of Education na binubuo ng mga guro, alam natin na most of them are financially challenged. Dito nga tayo nakarinig ng kwento na ang mga sweldo halos 3,000 na lang sa dami ng kanilang utang kung saan-saan. Yung pala may mga umiikot na payola envelope, no? So far, ay 4 na ang umamin, no? Si Yusek Mercado, yung kauna-unahan. Tapos sinundan ito ni Attorney Osayas. Tapos ito nga si Ms. Catalan. I understand there's another one who gave the testimony about that envelope being given to them as allowance daw, no? As allowance. At bilang pasasalamat daw sa kanilang maayos na pagtatrabaho. Kaya lang, kabayan, sabi ko nga kahapon kay Ms. Catalan, ma'am, it seems na you wish to believe na hindi ito galing sa confidential fund, ano? Pero sana na-realize din niya na whether galing siya sa confidential fund o hindi galing sa confidential fund, pares may sabit eh. Pares may sabit. Kasi kung galing siya sa confidential fund, implicated siya dun sa malversation. Public
Ayun.
official, nakialam ng public fund, at talagang nagkaroon ng appropriation ng money. Nawala talaga yung pera.
Masasabi po ba natin, Congresswoman, na ito yung mga kaso ng malversation?
Yes, kabayan. Actually, from my end, I honestly believe there's already a prima facie
Evidence,
case of
okay.
Malversation. No?
Okay. O public funds.
Kung ang susunod na naman natin, yung sinasabi ni Ms. Catalan, na ito ay galing sa personal na pera ng ating Vice President, we have to remind the public officials na yun hong mere acceptance of gift, being in the public office, already constitutes violation of Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act. That is under Republic Act 3019. At pasok din po tayo dito sa Code and Professional Responsibility ng mga government officials and employees. At mayroon din pong presidential decree na talagang ipinagbabawal ang pagtanggap ng anumang regalo. No? Medyo
can we consider it panunuhol?
Sa perspective po
Personal,
natin, kasi si Ms. Catalan po yung pumeperma ng liquidation report
Oo.
Hindi po makukompleto yung liquidation process without the signature of the chief accountant. So I wish to believe that yes, it is a bribe to influence her to sign the liquidation report.
Yun, okay. So, yung mga inibitahan natin, sino lang ho mga umattend?
Kabayan, yung mga taga-OVP, particular itong ating Special Disbursing Officer, signatory dito sa cheque, si Edwin Fajarda.
Okay, umattend yan.
Most of them ay hindi dumating for the fourth time. Paapat na invitation natin at hindi pa rin siya dumating. Tapos yung Chief of Staff, ni VP, si Attorney Zulaika.
Zulaika Lopez.
On immigration report ay
nakaalis na.
Nasa Los Angeles na.
Ay, nasa LA na pala. Ito ang Chief of Staff ng Office of the Vice President, Undersecretary Zulaika Lopez.
Yes, kabayan.
Okay.
Actually, there are 6 or 7 of them. Hindi lang natin ma-memorize yung pangalan, pero I very well remember Edwin Fajarda sapagkat siya ang Special Disbursing Officer. Kailangan natin siyang makausap. Siya yung nag-encash ng mga cheque. And also, Attorney Zulaika sapagkat siya po ang Chief of Staff ng ating Vice President. And we also have this Sunshine Fajarda. Ito po ay asawa ni Edwin Fajarda. And according to DepEd officials, siya po ang taga-deliver ng mga payola envelope. So far dito sa apat na nag-admit na or nag-disclose na meron talagang envelope na ipinamimigay sa Department of Education.
Anong gagawin nun ninyo ngayon? Pang ilang beses nang hindi sila sumisipot?
I believe that yesterday was the fourth time na hindi po sila sumipot. Medyo nagipit po tayo sa service ng ating last notice kasi bumagyo hindi po nakarating on time at meron po tayo ini-observe na 3-day notice rule. Dapat po ang notice ay dumating sa kanila 3 days before the hearing. So, in order to remove all the issues about due process, ay minarapat na lang po namin na mag-issue ng panibagong subpoena. This will be for the next hearing, I believe, on Monday.
Okay. How about yung hinihingi natin nung doon sa 7 na lookout bulletin?
I understand, kabayan, na meron ng lookout bulletin, kaya mabilis na nakaka-generate ng information ang Bureau of Immigration kung nasa na ang mga whereabouts nitong ating mga resource persons na ito. And from their last report, out of the 7 na resource persons na ating inibitahan, isa lang naman yung out of the country.
Si
The rest
Lopez
ay nandito sa Pilipinas.
Kailan no nakalabas si Lopez? Kailan pa?
Kahapon.
Kahapon lang. Bilis.
Kahapon din yung arrival niya.
Sa LA.
Date na naghihiring tayo. But of course, hindi naman tayo tumitigil, kabayan. I hope that the government network will be sufficient enough to be able to locate the whereabouts of these resource persons to shed light. Kasi nandudo na tayong kabayan sa dulo
Oho.
na kailangan na natin silang matanong. Na-encash na the testimony, the evidence that we have gathered. Andun na yung land bank kahapon. So maliwanag na na-encash yung mga cheque. Ang tanong, saan dinala yung pera after
Yun.
the checks were encashed?
Pero tuloy-tuloy ang inyong invitasyon din kay BP Sara Duterte.
I believe yes, kabayan. Oo. Tuloy-tuloy din naman ang ating invitation, and as a matter of fact, anytime na mag-manifest siya ng desire or intention to participate in the hearing, we will be welcoming that kasi pinakamahalaga yung magiging comment at
Yes.
sagot ng ating Vice Presidente dun sa mga issues na ating nakikita dito sa investigasyon.
Kailan huling susunod na hearing po, Congresswoman?
Tentative, this will be on Monday, no? I think ito na rin yung date na nilagay natin dito sa notices para dito sa mga resource persons na hindi dumalo at they need to be reminded, kasi nag-manifest na kahapon yung kasama natin sa committee na if they continue to fail to appear on the next hearing, they will be moving for the citation of contempt of these resource persons.
Okay. Congresswoman, maraming salamat po muli at magandang umaga po. Ingat po.
Maraming salamat po sa inyo, kabayan.
Congresswoman Jervil Luistro ng Batangas.
Would you know, Ms. Acosta, kung saan po dinala ni Colonel Lachica yung 125 million?
Di ko po na po alam, ma'am, kasi sa kanya na po yun discretion kung
Hindi po niya discretion yun, ma'am.
ay sa kanya na po yung
Please
trabaho.
understand, kayo po ang special disbursing officer. You're supposed to be the person doing the payment of this amount to various payees. Hindi po ito discretion ni Colonel Lachica, ma'am. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Ano nga po ulit trabaho ni Colonel Lachica?
Siya po ang
Head
ng aming BPSPG at siya po ang inatasan as security officer po ng Office of the Vice President.
And of course, you will agree with me, iba po ang trabaho ng security officer sa trabaho ng special disbursing officer. Tama po ba? As a matter of
Yes,
fact,
iba
kaya
po.
po kayo'y banded. Kaya po kayo nire-require ng fidelity fund is
Yes.
to take care of these public funds. Si Colonel Lachica po ba? Covered po ba siya ng fidelity bond?
Hindi po, ma'am.
I don't think so because it's not part of his job to disburse public funds.
Pero siya po ang may alam, ma'am, lalo na pag-implement sa mga confidential activities po, ma'am. Just like surveillance and monitoring po. Kung okay po pa dyan, itayo, example, yung satellite office.
Even when he is aware of the implementation of the surveillance activities, you, as a special disbursing officer, should be the one actually paying all the recipients. Do you understand, Ms. Acosta?
I understand po, ma'am.
Then why did you give all the money to Colonel Lachica?
Because po may utos po si Ma'am Inday Sara na sa kanya ko po i-release. Kasi siya po ang nakakaalam kung paano po i-implement ang mga programs and activities in line po sa confidential fund. Siya
Okay.
po ang mag-survey, surveillance and monitoring po. Sa kanya po yun, wala po akong alam.
Ms. Acosta, I hope you realize that it is incumbent upon you as the special disbursing officer to know all the recipients of the entire 125 million. And it is totally wrong to say na wala kayong alam. Because in the first place, trabaho nyo po to disburse these funds to the various number of recipients. Let us proceed to liquidation report. Secretariat, kindly flash the liquidation report. What is the purpose, Ms. Acosta, of the liquidation report?
To liquidate the funds to liquidate the funds granted on confidential funds po. Ililiquidate po.
Ililiquidate, and by liquidate, we need to gather proof that indeed the entire amount was utilized for the intended purpose. Tama po ba?
Tama po.
What is your participation in this liquidation report?
Yung binigay na po sa akin ni Sir La Chica ang acknowledgement
Ms. Acosta,
receipt.
please be directed to the left bottom part of the liquidation report.
Correctness of the above data po, ma'am.
Do you understand what that means?
Yes po, ma'am.
Ano pong ibig sabihin nun?
Na ang pundo po ay ay nagamit ng maayos sa pamagitan po ng pagkuha ng mga acknowledgement receipt po na galing po kay Sir La Chica.
You mentioned about acknowledgement receipts. Pag-usapan po natin yan. As a special disbursing officer, part of your job is to certify the correctness of the above data, and that includes the acknowledgement receipts that you mentioned. You agree?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Based on examination, Ms. Acosta, mayroong 700 na acknowledgement receipts. May signature, pero walang printed name. In other words, we could not hold anyone accountable for the given amounts. What can you say about that? 700 mahigit na acknowledgement receipts, may signature, pero walang printed name, so you cannot tell who the recipient really is. Do you think, given that situation, you certified the correctness of the data?
Kasi
Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you believe that that is correct? Hindi
Yes.
mo alam kung sino ang recipient?
Kasi yan po ang binigay sa akin ni Sir La Chica, ma'am.
Again, please be directed by the certification at the bottom right of this document. Gina Acosta, certifying to the correctness of the above data, and that data includes the acknowledgement receipts. How did you certify correct the 700 plus acknowledgement receipts which bear unreadable signatures and does not bear the printed name of the recipients? Tama po ba yun?
Sa paningin ko, ma'am, ang maka-answer po ng maayos ay si Sir La Chica po, ma'am.
Sa paningin nyo po bilang Special Disbursing Officer, tama po ba na ang acknowledgement receipt ay wala kang pagkitaan ng pangalan? Tama po ba yun?
Kasi po ang alam ko
Please
po,
answer the question, Ms. Acosta. I believe that the question is answerable by yes or no only. Kayo po ang Special Disbursing Officer, and you said from this liquidation report, I'm certifying to the correctness of the above data. 700 plus acknowledgement receipts with signature, unreadable, and without printed name. Tama po ba na i-certify na tama yung 700 mahigit na acknowledgement receipts na yon? Tama po o mali?
tama po, ma'am.
Tama?
Yes po, ma'am.
Kahit wala pong pangalan?
Kasi po, ang makasagot po niyan ng maayos, ma'am, pwede po si Sir La Chica.
Okay, let's do this by way of hypothetical question. Kayo po ang accountable disbursing officer. Ibig sabihin, kayo po ang may pananagutan sakaling mawala, may mangyaring hindi tama, dito po sa 125 million. I hope you anchor your answer on the fact na kayo po ang mananagot doon sa 125 million as a special disbursing officer. Tama po ba nag-release kayong pera? Tapos yung acknowledgement receipt, walang pangalan ng recipient. Tama po o mali? Kung kayo po ang mismong magre-release ng pera, kayo po ba'y papayag na walang printed name ang acknowledgement receipt?
Pwede po ma'am, itanong po kay Sir La Chica po. kung
No,
ano
the
po ang
question,
nangyari.
Ms. Acosta, is hypothetical, no? Kung sakali lang pong kayo mismo ang nagbigay dun sa 700 na tao yon, kayo po ang accountable disbursing officer, papayag po ba kayo na yung 700 na yon, tatanggap ng pera, tapos hindi nyo alam kung anong mga pangalan nila? Yun po ba ay tama o mali? You said already that it was Colonel La Chica who did the disbursement. Naintindihan ko na po yun.
Opo ma'am.
Pero ang sitwasyon po natin ngayon, let us assume na kayo ang magre-release ng pera. Papayag po ba kayong mag-release ng pera na hindi sinusulat yung printed name ng pagbibigyan nyo ng pera?
Siguro po, nangyari po yun dahil po sa voluminous na transaction ma'am.
Ms. Acosta, the question is answerable only by tama o mali. We are talking about 700 plus acknowledgement receipts. May signature, walang printed name, walang pagkitaan ng pangalan ng recipients. Kung kayo po ang magre-release nito, papayag po ba kayo na walang printed name ang tumanggap?
Hindi po, pero depende po sa sitwasyon
You have
ma'am.
given your answer already. Ms. Acosta, let's proceed to the next category of acknowledgement receipts. Mayroon naman pong 300 plus. May signature, may printed name, pero hindi naman mabasa yung printed name. In other words, wala din pong pagkitaan kung sino ang recipient. Again, on the assumption na kayo po ang magre-release ng perang ito sa recipient, papayag po ba kayong i-release itong perang ito na hindi nyo nakitang nakasulat ang pangalan ng recipient?
Nag-trust po ako kay kay Sir La Chica ma'am.
Ms. Acosta, let us answer the question po. I understand na ang sabi niyo po si Colonel La Chica ang nag-release.
Yes po.
On the assumption only, kunyari lang po kayo ang magre-release. Andyan yung recipient. 300 mahigit po to. Papayag po ba kayo na hindi nyo mabasa ang mga tunay na pangalan ng pinagbibigyan nyo ng pera?
Kung ako po ang nagbigay, hindi po ako papayag.
Hindi kayo papayag. Now, let us go to the acknowledgement receipt with the recipient whose name is Mary Grace Piattos. Do we still have that slide, Secretariat? Can we please share it? I wish to believe na nakita nyo na po ito during the previous hearings. Again, hypothetical question ulit. Kung kayo po ba ang magre-release ng pera to a name, Mary Grace Piattos, kayo po ba ay papayag?
Papayag po ako ma'am, meron naman pong Piattos na apelyido.
Do you know Mary Grace Piattos? Do you know Mary Grace Piattos?
Wala po. Hindi ko po siya kilala ma'am.
But you said na papayag kayo kasi may apelidong Piattos. Saan ho ba kayo nakakita ng apelidong Piattos?
Meron po sa amin sa Davao ma'am.
Meron po
Oh.
na apelidong Piattos. I will be interested to know, Ms. Acosta, kung sino po yung mga taga Davao na may apelidong Piattos. But do you honestly believe na meron pong Mary Grace Piattos?
Yes ma'am. Sa Davao po meron.
Meron.
Opo.
Bakit po kaya hindi siya lumulutang? I am reminded by the pledge of, I believe, the Young Guns who contributed money to raise 1 million asking Mary Grace Piattos to come out to the open. Bakit po kaya walang lumulutang? If indeed mayroong Mary Grace Piattos sa Davao.
Kasi po, nagbibase lang po ako sa binigay po ni Sir La Chica na mga binalik
Ms.
niya sa
Acosta,
akin.
kindly answer the question po. Ang sabi niyo po kanina, mayroong Mary Grace Piattos.
Piattos po ang sinabi ko, ma'am, na apelyido.
Nonetheless, kayo po ba'y naniniwalang mayroong Mary Grace Piattos? In the first place, kayo po dapat kaharap nito eh. Dahil kayo yung special disbursing officer. But you kept on claiming that you handed the entire amount to Colonel Lachica. Kaya hindi nyo alam kung ano nangyari doon sa pera. O ito na po ang consequence. Ipinagtiwala nyo ang disbursement sa hindi naman accountable officer. How will you answer now to that acknowledgement receipt? Paano nyo po ngayon ipapaliwanag yan? Kayo po ang accountable officer and you're bound to explain who is Mary Grace Piattos.
Hindi po talaga ako maka-explain yan, ma'am, kasi hindi po ako ang nagpapipirma po. Ang nag-execute po ng acknowledgement na yun, ma'am, si Sir La Chica po.
You said ang nag-execute po ng acknowledgement ay si Sir La Chica. Sino pong pumerma dyan?
Siya lang po ang makakaalam, ma'am.
Si Colonel La Chica lang ang nakakaalam.
Yes po, kasi siya po ang nag-execute ng acknowledgement receipt po.
Ms. Acosta, ako po'y gusto ko pong maawa sa inyo kasi while you entrusted the entire amount of 125 million to Colonel La Chica, who is not an accountable officer at all, I hope you realize, kayo po ang mananagot sa buong 125 million. Are you aware of that?
Yes, ma'am, aware po ako.
Balikan ko po si Mary Grace Piattos. Anchoring my question on your statement na may mga Piattos sa Davao City. In spite of the pledge of 1 million by young guns, kung talaga pong may Mary Grace Piattos, I believe 2 weeks na ang nakaraan, but wala po kayang nagpapakilala na Mary Grace Piattos.
Piattos lang po ang sinabi ko, ma'am. Hindi
Ano po yun?
Piattos lang po na apelyido ang sinabi
Yes,
ko.
but you said that there are Piattoses in Davao City. May mga Piattos sa Davao. Kung hindi nyo man po talaga personally kilala that certain Mary Grace, bakit po kaya walang lumulutang kung talagang may Mary Grace Piattos, magkakaroon ho siya ng 1 milyon na walang kahirap-hirap. Would you agree with me if I would say? The reason kung bakit walang lumulutang ay dahil wala naman talagang Mary Grace Piattos. Tama po ba?
Hindi po ako maka-say ng yes or no, ma'am, kasi si Sir La Chica po ang nag-execute po, ang nagpapapirma po
No.
ng acknowledgement
Ms.
receipt.
Acosta, I'm not asking you about the personality of Mary Grace Piattos. This is a hypothetical question again. Having stated na may mga Piattos sa Davao and considering na nag-pledge ng young guns ng 1 million, tatanggapin ni Mary Grace Piattos. The only condition is magpakilala siya. Ako si Mary Grace Piattos. Tama po bang sabihin na kaya walang lumulutang na Mary Grace Piattos ay dahil ang totoo, wala naman talagang Mary Grace Piattos? Tama po o mali?
Yun po ang answer
Tama
ko,
po
ma'am.
o mali, Ms. Acosta?
Siguro, tama po yun, ma'am.
Okay. Now let's proceed to that acknowledgement receipt with the name Kokoy Villamin. Sino po si Kokoy Villamin?
Ganun pa rin, ma'am. Di ko po siya kilala.
Secretariat, please flash again the AR.
Natanggap po lang kaling kay ano.
Mr. Chair.
Madam Vice President.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Acosta has been crying since this hearings started because of her fear and a lot of other things. Can we just give her some air?
1 minute suspension is declared by the chair. Congressman Marcoleta, you recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I know that our rules of procedure in aid of legislation includes suppletorily the use of the rules of court. Under the rules of court, Your Honor, which are the rules being used in the courts of law, hypothetical questions are not allowed to be asked. Are we supposed to insist on asking hypothetical questions?
Could you please be specific, Congressman Marcoleta?
It's very specific, Mr. Chair. The witness is being asked hypothetical questions. These are disallowed in the courts of law. If you're using the rules of court suppletorily, what is the purpose of asking hypothetical questions?
Under our internal rules, the rules of procedure governing the proceedings before the Committee on Good Government under Section 16, it provides that rules of procedure and evidence in any meeting of the committee, the rules of evidence prevailing in courts of law or equity shall not be controlling, and the committee shall use every and all reasonable means to ascertain the facts in each case speedily and objectively without regard to technicality of law or procedure.
Yes, Mr. Chair, we're talking of facts.
All in the
We're not
intent.
talking about hypothetical situations here. We're not supposed to be getting facts out of speculations. We cannot speculate on the questions that should be asked and answered. This will not benefit the committee, Mr. Chair. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Noted, Congressman Marcoleta.
Mr. Chair.
Please
Mr. Chair.
continue with the...
Mr. Chair.
Congressman
Dagdag lang po na
Manuel.
response, Mr. Chair, since always po ini-invoke na kung ano yung dapat na conduct ng committee, ano yung bounds ng mga discussions natin. Mr. Chair, again, ang ginagawa po natin ay in aid of legislation at hindi po tayo makakagawa ng mga batas, hindi natin maaral yung pwedeng maging mga batas kung hindi natin pag-uusapan yung mga posibleng scenarios kahit hindi pa nangyayari, Mr. Chair. We can't have good laws kung hindi natin pag-uusapan paano yan pwedeng ipatupad, paano yan pwedeng maabuso, which means yung nagiging line of questioning na ating colleagues are essential to the conduct of our proceedings sa komite. Ilang, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, this is the problem of non-lawyers. They insist on something that should not be done.
Noted,
Thank you.
Congressman Marcoleta.
Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair.
Yes, Madam Vice President.
Can I answer as head of agency of the
Ano
Office
po,
of the
Madam?
Vice President? Can I answer as head of the agency of the Office of the Vice President as well?
With respect to the...
To the comment manifestation of Congressman Marcoleta, sir.
No, you are not allowed. Please continue, Congresswoman Luistro.
Ms. Acosta, ano po ba ang nararamdaman nyo? Of course, I'm concerned about you. Ano po yun?
Nanginginig po, ma'am.
Bakit po kayo nanginginig? Bukod po sa nanginginig, ano pong nararamdaman nyo? Hindi naman po ako sumisigaw.
Kasi po, wala po talaga akong alam kung sino po yun, si Kukoy Villamin, si Grace Piattos po. Kasi po, si Sir La Chica po ang nasa ground po. Siya po ang nagpipipirma. Nag-base na lang po ako sa binalik niya sa akin na acknowledgement receipt po, ma'am.
Pero ma'am, I hope you acknowledge na yun pong sinasabi niyong ginawa ni Colonel La Chica. Yun po'y trabaho niyo as a special disbursing officer.
Yes, ma'am. Pero may utos po ang aking boss, ma'am, na i-release ko po kay Sir La Chica, ma'am.
I heard you, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
We will just proceed with the question Tell me pag hindi nyo na po kaya, I will stop. Ano po? You just answer from what you believe is true to yourself.
Yes, ma'am.
Punta po tayo kay Kokoy Villamin. Do you know this person?
Wala po talaga akong alam, ma'am.
Wala po kayong alam.
Yes po, ma'am.
Surname Villamin. May kilala po ba kay sa Davao na Villamin?
Wala po akong alam, ma'am. Wala po akong kilala, ma'am.
Okay. So you cannot answer with respect to the identity of this Kokoy Villamin. Mr. Chair, do we have the NBI here as well as the PSA? They are not yet here.
Not yet here.
But I believe that
We have submitted the acknowledgement receipt. In process daw po.
okay. Ms. Acosta, do you confirm that the 125 million for the last quarter of 2022 was utilized from December 21 to December 31 as stated in the records?
Yes, ma'am. Based po sa binigay sa akin ni Sir La Chica
Okay.
na accomplishment report at saka acknowledgement receipt po.
Ms. Acosta, this is 125 million spent in, I believe, 10 days nga po ito eh. Hindi 11 days. Kasi under the law, when we count, we exclude the first, we include the last. So if we count from December 21 to December 31, this will be equivalent to 10 days. Tanggalin po natin yung sinasabi ni Chairman Acop na holiday, 3 days, in other words, 7 araw na lang po. Can you please enlighten us? Paano po kaya naubos, naibayad, na-disburse ni Colonel La Chica yung buong amount ng 125 million in 7 days?
Ma'am, hindi po ako makasagot niyan, ma'am. Kasi hindi po ako ang naggastos. In reality po, ma'am. Si Sir La Chica po ang may alam, ma'am.
Ma'am, you were the special disbursing officer of Davao from 2019 to 2022. And then you became the disbursing officer of the OVP. So kagaya po ng sabi nyo kanina, you have mastered already the process of utilization of confidential fund. Isang tanong lang po, posible po ba ito na ang 125 million ay magastos sa nalolooban lamang ng 7 weekdays?
Hindi ko po alam, ma'am. Kasi hindi po ako ang personal gastos
Ms.
po sa
Acosta,
pera, ma'am.
the question is based on your experience as SDO. Sabi niyo po kanina, 3 years kayong naging SDO ng Confidential Fund in Davao City. You even said you have mastered already the process of utilization. Ayon po ba sa karanasan ninyong yun? Yun po bang 125 million? Kaya po bang gastusin yun sa loob ng 7 weekdays, araw na may pasok lamang? Base po sa inyong karanasan, kaya po o hindi?
Hindi ko yan masagot, ma'am. Kasi hindi po ako ang nag-disburse na 125 million, ma'am. Si Sir La Chica po, ma'am.
Ms. Acosta, our question is based on your experience.
Hindi po ganun ang confidential fund sa Davao, ma'am. Hindi po ganun kalaki, ma'am.
In other words, ayon po sa inyong karanasan bilang confidential fund ng Davao 2019 to 2022, hindi kaya gastusin ang 125 million in 7 days. Tama po ba?
Hindi po ako makasabing tama, ma'am, kasi hindi po ganyan ang confidential fund sa Davao, ma'am.
Ma'am, the question is based on your experience. Kung ito po ba'y dadalhin natin doon sa sitwasyon nyo bilang SDO ng Davao, kaya po kaya yun?
Hindi ko
Gagastusin?
Hindi ko masagot, ma'am.
Okay. Now let us proceed to the certification. The Secretariat, please flash. May we know, Ms. Acosta, who prepared the certification? Secretary, please flash the document. May we know who prepared this certification, Ms. Acosta?
Ako po, ma'am.
Kayo po. You confirm the authorship of the signature above the name Gina F. Acosta sa inyo pong perma ito?
Yes po, ma'am.
Yes. And the document says, on the first paragraph, we certify that the amount of 125 million was incurred in connection with safe implementation of OVP initiatives and confidence building. Ms. Acosta, ano po ba yung confidence building?
Yan po yung isa po yun sa programa ng OBP na kung paano po ma-implement ang isang programa na maayos po at safety po.
Yun po ba ang ibig sabihin ng confidence building?
Yan po ang pagkaalam ko, ma'am.
Can you explain further? Pag sinabi po bang confidence building, ano po bang ibig sabihin nun? Is it synonymous to confidential activities? Pares po ba iyon?
Pwede po mag-ask ako sa aking lawyer, ma'am.
Yes po.
Committee hearing resumes. We excuse Gina Acosta para po ma-check po siya
I
ng
understand,
mas
Mr.
maigi
Chair.
sa clinic. Yes.
Can I have few questions only for Mr. Ortonio?
Yes, please continue.
Mr. Ortonio, would you confirm kung may vault nga sa OVP, specifically in the extension office of Ms. Acosta?
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Mr. Chair,
Yes, you are
before-
recognized, Mr. Ortonio.
Thank you, sir. Maybe before I answer the question of Honorable Luistro, would it be possible if I can provide an explanation first on my absence last week?
Mr. Chairman, it's all about
Congressman
supposedly it's all
Paduano.
about admin matters. So we'll discuss this later, especially Mr. Tenorio is under contempt. No?
Ortonio.
So Ortonio, is under contempt.
Yes. Just answer
Thank you,
the
Mr.
query
Chairman.
of Congressman Luistro.
I cannot confirm, Honorable Luistro, if there is actually 3 vaults because it's only Miss Gina Acosta who has knowledge on the vaults that are inside the room that she mentioned earlier.
Are you saying that there are vaults but you are not certain as to the number of them?
Yes, that's correct.
So you confirm that there are vaults, you are just not certain whether there are 3 or otherwise.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Would you know who, aside from Ms. Acosta, is aware about the vaults in her extension office?
As far as I know, Your Honor, it's only Miss Acosta.
It's only Ms. Acosta. But how then did you get an idea that there are vaults, only that you're not certain about the number?
I knew about the vaults, Your Honor, because of the fact that she is the special disbursing officer and that there are funds that were going to be placed in the office. That's as far as I know.
Is it automatic that if the person is the SDO, she has to be in her custody vaults where she can secure the money?
Yes, that's my understanding po.
So, are you inclined to believe na ang mga SDO, normally, they're keeping vaults inside their office?
It can be keeping vaults, Your Honor, or cash, parang cash register, or a safe place where they can place their the money that are entrusted to them.
Mr. Ortonio, since you were named by Ms. Acosta as the one who was with her during the time that she encashed the check, can you please walk us through? Paano po ba kayo nag-encash ng cheque? Let's start with Paano ho nakapag-prepare ang Land Bank Show Boulevard that amount of 125 million, which I believe is beyond the normal cash that they're maintaining in their vault?
Based on the information that I know of, first is that the cash division informs Ms. Acosta that the check is already available and that it's ready for encashment.
Who heads the cash division?
At that time, it's Ms. Carmelita Warren po.
Carmelita Warren. Okay. Please proceed.
Yes, after the information to Ms. Gina Acosta that there's already a check and ready for encashment. At that time, nung first time that she withdrew the money, she messaged me. She approached me, sorry. She approached me and then asked if I can accompany her. And then,
How many times have you accompanied Ms. Acosta?
as far as I can remember, in all of the withdrawals that she have, the times that she withdrew money from the bank.
So since she is an SDO for confidential fund, you're referring to the withdrawals of confidential fund.
Yes, that's correct, Your Honor.
Would it be correct to say that for the OVP, 4 na beses mo siya sinamahan? And that pertains to the 125 million of the last quarter of 2022, and then 125 million each for the 3 quarters of 2023.
Yes, that's correct, Your Honor, as far as I can remember.
And would you confirm kung itong 4 na checking ito, lahat sa Land Bank Show Boulevard na in cash?
Yes, that's correct, Your Honor.
Okay, let's go back to December 20, 2022. Anong oras nyo po nakuha yung cheque sa cash division?
I do not know what time Miss Gina was able to get the check from the cash division. It's Miss Gina po who got the check from the cash division.
What time did you leave for Land Bank Show Boulevard?
If I can remember it right, during that occasion, we left the office in time that when we arrived at Land Bank, parang towards the end of the banking hours already. So maybe
So
around
that
3
is
o'clock.
3 o'clock.
Around 3 o'clock.
3 o'clock. And how long did it take before the bank teller was able to encash the 125 million?
Based on my recollection, upon arrival at the bank, the money is already available, but it took a little bit of time just to count the money.
So can you please enlighten us? From 3 p.m., anong oras po kayo natapos?
More or less, siguro, Your Honor, maybe after 30 minutes.
So
maybe.
3:30. At 3:30, tama po ba sabihin yung pera nasa loob na ng 4 na malalaking bag?
Yes, by that time.
3:30.
Yes, per my recollection, but I cannot be exact on the time.
Mr. Ortonio, I believe that may we know where the OVP's office is?
It's in Mandaluyong po.
Mandaluyong. How close is this to Shaw Boulevard?
Shaw Boulevard, Land Bank Shaw Boulevard to the office around 20 minutes.
So
probably.
20 minutes?
Yes.
So tama yung sinasabi ni Ms. Acosta that around 4 p.m. they've arrived already at the office.
Office. That's correct.
And she placed all the money inside her extension office. Balikan po natin yun sa bangko. There are contradictory statements po. Ang sabi po ni Ms. Acosta, tinulungan po sila ng mga security guard magkarga ng 4 na bags sa inyong 2 sasakyan. Which earlier, the bank manager and the security guard during that time denied. Ano pong totoo, Mr. Ortonio?
Based on my recollection, Your Honor, what I can remember is that Land Bank Shaw was able to provide a parang yung parang trolley, and then they helped us put it in the parang trolley and then wheel it out of the bank. That's what I can remember.
So there are 3 versions now. Miss Acosta's version, tinulungan ng security guard magbuhat. The security guard's version, hindi tinulungan. And your version, you were provided with trolley.
That's what I can remember.
Assuming, Mr. Ortonio, that there is really a trolley, sino pong nagbuhat papunta sa trolley?
Again, as I can remember, it's coming from Land Bank po. That's what I
So,
can remember.
You are saying that there were people from Land Bank who helped you put all these bags on the trolley?
That's what I can remember.
And then what did they do with the trolley?
They wheeled it out of the bank and then helped in transferring to the vehicle.
Who actually placed the bags from the trolley to the vehicles?
Unfortunately, Your Honor, I could not remember. At the time that it was placed inside the car, I think I was still inside the bank. So I really
Why
could not
were you
remember.
inside the bank?
At that time, Your Honor, if I can remember it right, I was having a little bit of conversation with Miss Violi,
Who is Miss Violi?
the
The
land
bank manager. And will you be generous enough what you were conversing during that time? That this have something to do with how you will carry the bag to the vehicle?
I cannot recall anymore the conversation that we've had.
Yes. How many bags were placed in the car where you seated?
All 4 bags were placed inside the car that I rode in.
Is that so?
Yes, that's correct.
That's another contradiction to the statement of Ms. Acosta.
Your Honor, if I may, if my memory serves me right, Miss Gina wasn't able to mention where the bags were placed.
No. What she said, kung ma-hold up yung isa, may tira pang isa. Which leads me to one conclusion, that the 4 bags were parted between the 2 vehicles. Otherwise, she will not be saying na may matitira pang isa kung sakaling ma-hold up yung isa. I'm just trying to manifest the contradiction in your statements.
Yes.
But I don't mind really if that's what you recall.
Yes. Respectfully, Your Honor, that's what I recall. And Miss Gina wasn't really able to mention which vehicle the bags were placed.
And do you confirm her statement that you separated in 2 cars?
Yes, that's
You seated
correct.
in one car and you seated in the other car.
That's correct, Your
So
Honor.
would you confirm the statement of Ms. Acosta that she was instructed by the Vice President to give the 125 million to Colonel Lachica?
Unfortunately, Your Honor, I am not privy to that arrangement between Ms. Acosta and the Vice President.
One minute to Secretary.
Mr. Chair, Gina Acosta was rushed to the emergency room, so may I ask permission to join her, leave the hearing and assist my colleague in the Office of the Vice President. Okay, I'll join you in the next hearing. Thank you.
Mr. Chair,
Session resumes.
I believe that I have no more questions to raise at the moment. So I'm yielding to my fellow members of the committee.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, can
Yes,
I just have
DS Suarez.
point of clarification, and I'm unfortunately Ms. Gina Costa is not here. There were some items where I'm trying to merge, and maybe Congresswoman Jinky can help me with this. Kanina po ba sinabi ni Ms. Gina Costa may mga vault sa Office of the Vice President? Can you confirm this, Mr. Antonio? Would you know of these vaults? Or Tonyo?
I know of this vaults, as mentioned earlier, Your Honor. just with the fact or information that she is the special
No,
disbursing.
but have you seen these vaults?
Unfortunately, Your Honor, I haven't seen these vaults po.
So who has seen these vaults?
I do not know who else has seen these vaults, but of course, I assume it's Miss Gina Acosta would have seen it, being the custodian.
So siya lang ang may alam ng vaults na yon.
I would assume, Your Honor.
No, because you are assistant chief of staff,
Chief
correct?
of Staff, correct.
So I'm sure you would know of vaults because the vaults that she described were 4 feet high and 3, if I'm not mistaken. So you would know of these. I mean, it would be quite weird that an assistant chief of staff wouldn't know of vaults in the office.
Yes.
So can you confirm these vaults? Yes or no?
Yes, I confirmed the vaults, but I cannot confirm as to how many po.
Okay, so you've seen these vaults.
I have, as mentioned earlier, Your Honor, I haven't seen these.
So how can you
vaults po.
confirm something that you have not seen?
Based on the information that was shared to me po.
By whom?
Yeah. As mentioned po by Miss Gina, and
So what you're saying is previous to Miss Gina saying that there were vaults, you didn't know that there were vaults?
I knew of vaults in the possession of Miss Gina, but again, Your Honor, I haven't seen these vaults po.
So okay, because I'm trying to determine your knowledge of these vaults because in our previous hearings, Ms. Sanchez, tinanong po namin kayo tungkol sa mga vaults. At ang sabi po ninyo, meron po kayong vault, kaso lang ang vault po ninyo ay para lang po sa payroll.
Petty cash.
And expenses and petty cash expenses, correct? Attorney Sanchez?
Attorney Sanchez, you are recognized.
Yes, Mr. Chair, that is correct.
Yes. So I'm actually reading our transcripts here, no? So I'm aware of the vault as mentioned by the Director of Finance and Admin. It is used for, I think, payroll and other items.
And petty cash
Yeah,
expenses, Mr.
and then when we continued on with the interpellation, Attorney Sanchez, you did not speak of any other vaults in the office of the Vice President.
That is correct, Mr. Chair, because
Yeah, and we even asked you when it came to the confidential funds, where were the funds kept? You said in an office.
Mr. Chair, I said that I have no personal knowledge.
Yeah. Okay, but in any case, so I'm just trying to put things together. So how many vaults are there in the office of the Vice President?
Mr. Chair, I'm only aware of one vault, which is used by the cash division.
And then Mr. Ortonio would attest that there are 3 other vaults other than the vault that Attorney Sanchez is speaking about.
Other vaults, Your Honor, for as mentioned by Miss Gina Acosta.
Hindi. Mr. Ortonio, walk me through here. You get the money from the banks.
That's correct, Your
Correct.
Honor.
And then the money is brought to where?
Brought to the office.
Brought to the office.
Yes.
And while in the office, where is the money placed?
Sorry, Your Honor.
While in the office, where is the money placed?
I don't. To be honest, Your Honor, I'm not familiar where Miss Gina
Mr.
places place it in the office. But yes, there is a room where Miss Gina places the money.
Yes, I understand. But you have to understand, Mr. Ortonio, Miss Gina Acosta has been excused because her blood pressure hit 150/100. And I'm sure in her state of health, she wouldn't be able to carry 125 million pesos by herself. Kayong dalawa ang mga personalidad na may kinalaman sa pagdadala ng pera. So ang sinasabi mo ba sa akin, nung dinala na ang pera sa OVP, sa Office of the Vice President, hindi mo na alam kung saan to idinala?
Yes, Your Honor. It's just Miss Acosta together with two
So now there are two other people.
Two VPSPG guards on duty at that day who helped Miss Acosta
Carry the
bring
bags.
to bring the money. Yes.
So, ang role mo hanggang sasakyan lang.
Yes, that's correct, Your Honor.
Okay. So, who are these two VPSG? Can you identify them, please?
I cannot remember anymore who those BPSPG on duty that day because they are on rotation.
Yes, but I'm sure you would know their names. I mean, you're talking about 125 million here, Mr. Ortonio. I mean, if it was just like a mere envelope that was submitted to the office, I would understand. But something so delicate as 125 million, siguro po, iilan lang ang pwedeng pagkatiwalaan ng halagang ito. At napakahirap naman pong paniwalaan na sasabihin mo sa akin, hindi ko maalala yung dalawang tao na yon. Sino po yung dalawang tao na yon, Mr. Ortonio?
Really, Your Honor, I could not remember because, again, the VPSPG that are on duty at the office regularly rotates po.
So, are you trying to tell me, Mr. Ortonio, that this is the practice at the Office of the Vice President when you handle amounts amounting to 125 million pesos? Hindi nyo na po binibigyan ng masyadong pagpapahalaga at hindi nyo na po kinikilala yung mga taong dapat pagkatiwalaan upang siguraduhin na secure ang perang yon? Kasi kung hindi nyo po kilala, di parang nakakagulat po dahil malaking halaga po ito. At the very least, you should have certain protocols. I mean, from the delivery of the money to the office up to where it's being brought. I'm quite shocked, Mr. Ortonio, that you don't even know where the money is brought. Do you know where the money is brought?
As mentioned by Ms. Gina, it's brought to her extension office.
And the extension office is, this is where the vaults are, I presume.
Yes, I presume, Your Honor.
And however, you have not seen these vaults.
No, Your Honor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. I just wanted to get that clarified kasi medyo hindi lang po ako na... at saka dito lang sa Land Bank, can I just get back to you? Kasi medyo hindi po magtugma yung notes ko. Sabi po kasi ni Ms. Gina Acosta, may tumulong sa pagbubuhat. Sabi naman po ni Mr. Ortonio, inilagay po yung pera sa... push cart po ba ang sinabi ninyo? Ano pong ginamit? Trolley.
Parang trolley.
Trolley, oo. So, from the Land Bank, what is the procedure when it comes to cash withdrawals? Is the bank actually allowed to facilitate or aid clients when it comes to bringing out cash out of the banks?
Your Honor, as courtesy po to our clients, na-extend lang po namin yung help sa kanila.
Again?
As courtesy po to our clients, na-extend lang po namin yung help na yon sa client po.
So you confirm that the bags were trolleyed off out of the bank with the help of Land Bank personnel?
Actually, hindi ko na po maalala yung mga panahon na yun, Your Honor.
Okay. Dito sa dalawang security guard, kayo po ba yung on duty nung panahon na... Ha? Si Nino, Mr. Nino Bora, kayo po yung on duty nung nilalabas po yung pera?
Opo, sir.
Opo. Nung nilalabas po yung pera, kayo din po ang tumulong sa pagbubuhat at pagtutulak?
Hindi po.
Eh, sino pong tumulong?
Hindi ko po maalala kung sino yung tumulong po.
Okay. Medyo hindi na tayo nagtutugma dito, ma'am. Kasi sabi nyo, as courtesy, tinulungan po sila. Kaso lang sinasabi po ng security personnel, hindi daw po. So, pwede po bang malaman natin kung ano po talaga ang nangyari?
Your Honor, yung pong pag-provide po siguro ng trolley, yun lang po yung extension ng pag-help namin. Pag-provide po ng trolley.
Yung pag-provide ng trolleys. Okay.
Yes,
So,
Your Honor.
sino po ang nagtulak ng trolleys?
Hindi ko na po maalala, Your Honor.
Mr. Ortonio?
Based on my recollection, Your Honor, as far as I can remember, someone helped us, and ang recollection ko po is it was from Land Bank. That's my recollection.
But Land Bank is saying they just provided the trolleys. The security officer said, hindi daw po sila. Tapos ang sinasabi mo naman, taga Land Bank po ang tumulong. So, medyo hindi po nagtutugma yung statement nyo, Mr. Ortonio, sa statements po ng Land Bank. So, ano po ba talaga ang katotohanan?
Your Honor, that's what I can recall po as of this moment.
No, I'm not asking you of what you can remember as of this moment. What I'm asking you, Mr. Ortonio, is the truth and the fact. So, what is it?
Again, Your Honor, I'm relying on my memory right now, and that's what I can remember that happened that day.
In the 4 times that you withdrew money, siguro naman maaalala ninyo, 4 na beses, 125 million, 500 million pesos ang pinag-uusapan natin. Siguro naman malalagay nyo ng konting pagpapahalaga, maalala nyo man lang kung sino ba ang tumulong sa inyo. Kasi dadalawa lang po kayo. Sabi niyo ikaw at saka si Miss Gina Acosta. So, ang tanong po, sino po ang kasama pa po ninyo dito po sa paglalabas ng pera mula sa bangko?
Again, Your Honor, as far as I can remember, Land Bank assisted us in terms of having to place the bags inside the vehicle. That's what I can remember.
As you know, that's against bank policy. Am I correct, Land Bank?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm correct? That is against bank policy?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Chair, it seems like meron po tayong problema dito. One of our resource person is insisting that Land Bank personnel help them take the money out of the bank and into the car. However, Land Bank is saying at most pinahiram po sila ng trolley. Kasi pagdating sa pagtutulak at pagpapasok sa pera, hindi po nila gagawin yon kasi labag po yun sa polisiya ng mga bangko. So, Mr. Ortonio, last chance. Let's not forget that you're already cited in contempt. Can you please inform us of these details? Who else were you with when you withdrew the money from Land Bank?
Again, Your Honor, respectfully, it was only me and Miss Gina who withdrew the money from the bank.
Let me read to you, Mr. Ortonio, letter C, under Section 11. Okay. Refusal to answer any relevant inquiry. So, Mr. Ortonio, wala naman pong mawawala kung magsasabi po kayo ng katotohanan. Yun lang po, simple lang po yung tanong namin. Sino po yung kasama ninyo nung inilabas nyo po yung pera? Hindi nyo po pwedeng sabihin na Land Bank kasi mismong Land Bank na, dalawa sa kanila nagsabi, labag sa kanilang polisiya yon at yung mismong security guard at that time sinabi din na hindi daw po sila. At hindi naman po pwede na hindi nyo po maalala kung sino pong kasama ninyo kasi 125 million pesos po ang pinag-uusapan natin. Other than Miss Gina Acosta, who else were you with when you brought the money out?
It was me and Miss Gina Acosta who were present, but of course, we also had guards on duty. But ang nag-withdraw lang po ng money, it's Miss Gina and me.
So sino pa nga po yung ibang kasama? Yung po tinatanong ko, sino pa po yung ibang kasama ninyo?
In terms of kasama po, we also had VPSPG on duty that day and the driver.
Oh, there you go. It wasn't so hard, di ba? So can you name these individuals?
I'll have to recall, Your Honor, kung sino po yung mga guards on duty that day. Because as mentioned earlier po, the guards on duty at the Office of the Vice President regularly rotates po.
So what you're telling me is, on those 4 occasions na naglabas kayo ng pera, ni isa sa mga taong nakasama ninyo, maliban kay Gina Acosta, hindi mo maalala kung sino?
I'll have to
Just
recall.
one person.
I'm just trying to recall po, Your Honor, kung if there are.
Mr. Chairman, ang pinag-uusapan po natin dito, kalahating bilyong piso. Pwede ba yun? Di mo alam kung sino yung nag-drive? Maski isang beses lang, sabi nyo 2 sasakyan kayo, hindi nyo alam kung sino nagmaneho? Hindi nyo alam kung sinong pangalan ng security? Pwede ba yun? Napaka-imposible po nun. That is very... I'm sorry, Mr. Tony, that is very hard to accept. I am of the position that you are purposely hiding the identities of these people for reasons I do not know. Number 1, Land Bank already said it wasn't them that helped you push the trolleys. Maski sinabi mo na Land Bank, strike 1 ka na doon. Pangalawa, tinatanong kita kung sinong kasama mo. Ni isa, hindi mo maalala maliban kay Ms. Gina Acosta. Para naman napakahirap naman paniwalaan yon, Mr. Ortonio. Bigla naman kayo nagkaroon ng case of amnesia.
Your Honor, if my memory serves me right, one of the guards who was with us is, I just do not know yung kanyang, ano tawag nito? Yung kanyang position, yung kanyang title, yung rank niya, but it's Mr. Guerrero po, one of the drivers.
Colonel La Chica, your excuse.
Mr. Chairman, 1 minute suspension.
1 minute suspension is declared by the chair. Committee hearing resumes. Please continue, Deputy Speaker J.J. Suarez.
So Mr. Ortonio, dahil napakahalagang pera ang pinag-uusapan po natin, so you mentioned Guerrero. So maliban po kay Guerrero, sino pa po ang kasama ninyo?
I tried to recall po the names. Mr. Guerrero and
But Guerrero is a very vague name, no? A lot of people share that last name. Would you know his first name?
Your Honor, would it be possible, considering these are names of the VPSPG, would it be possible if I just give the names to you and not publicly mention them already? Because I am not sure on the protocols, the security protocols that VPSPG has in terms of having to share the names of their personnel.
So you're concerned about the security aspect?
Truthfully, Your Honor.
So you
yes,
want to write it in a piece of paper?
I can provide you, Your Honor.
Chairman, just
Before I recognize Congressman Paduano, the chair would like to recognize the Honorable Arnan Panaligan from the 1st District of Oriental Mindoro, the Honorable Zia Alonto Adjong from the 1st District of Lanao del Sur, Honorable Julien Jam Baronda, Deputy Majority Leader from the Lone District of Iloilo City, the Honorable Edward Vera Perez Maceda from the 4th District of Manila, the Honorable Horacio P. Swansing Jr. from the 2nd District of Sultan Kudarat, the Honorable Ma Rene Ann Lourdes Matibag from the 1st District of Laguna, the Honorable Bonifacio L. Busita from One Rider Party List. Yes, Congressman Paduano, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Through the Chairman, I will just address my query to Mr. Ortonio. Kasi sir, kanina sabi mo, you have to refresh your memory, di ba? Ano ba talagang totoo? Kasi, sandali po, please wait to be recognized by the Chairman. Di pa ako tapos. Kasi po, sa akin po, you're concealing information. And that's in violation of our internal rules with regards to Section 11, concealment of information. So ano ba talaga? Nakalimutan mo o dahil doon sa question of protocol?
To tell you the truth po, Your Honor, it's really on the protocols, Your Honor. It's really on the protocols.
Okay, could you please give us the names of the security personnel? Submit it to COMSEC.
Please now.
Okay, next to interpolate. Si Congressman Zia. Ay, J. Congressman J. Konghun.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, may I direct my questions to Ms. Sunshine Farda?
Yes, please. Ms. Sunshine Parda.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Ms. Sunshine Farda, kayo po ay nagtrabaho sa ilalim ni Vice President Sara noong siya po ay mayor pa ng Davao City. Tama po ba?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Kailan po ito?
It was in 2011, Mr. Chair.
Ano ang nahawakan mong posisyon nung ikaw ay nagtatrabaho sa Davao?
When I started working for the Office of the City Mayor, Mr. Chair, I was under a contract of service. It was, I think, Operations Assistant was the designation, Mr. Chair.
Ano ang tungkulin mo sa posisyong ito?
My work at that time, Mr. Chair, was to write technical letters, technical writing, preparation of MOA, drafting of executive orders, and also attending meetings on behalf of the City Mayor's Office.
Abogado po ba kayo? Abogado po kayo, tama po ba?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Kailan po kayo nakapasa sa bar exam?
I passed, Mr. Chair, in 2019 because I took the 2018 bar examination.
Kasabay niyo po si Attorney Michael Powa?
I believe so, Mr. Chair, yes.
Okay. At noong si Vice President Sara ay naging Deputy Secretary, kayo ay unang naging Head Executive Assistant niya sa Department of Education. Tama po ba?
Yes, I confirm that, Mr. Chair.
Hanggang kailan ito?
It was from July 1, 2022 until, I believe, around April, Mr. Chair, 2023.
At nung matapos ito, kayo naman ay inatasan niya maging Assistant Secretary ng Office of the Secretary sa DepEd. Tama po ba?
Yes, Mr. Chair. I was appointed by the President po as Assistant Secretary of the Office of the Secretary.
Bilang ASEC, ano ang iyong tungkulin?
I was in charge of the administration of the entire Office of the Secretary, Mr. Chair. I was also assisting the Vice President in technical matters like in meetings. I also assisted her during the field visitations and also helped out in managing the staff in the entire Office of the Secretary proper po.
At kayo rin ay bumitiw sa Department of Education sa inyong posisyon noong July 9, 2024. Tama po ba?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Kasabay-
Sorry, Mr. Chair, it wasn't July 9 po. I believe I started with the Office of the Vice President, Mr. Chair, July 16 po.
Okay. Kasabay mong nag-resign, no, sa Department of Education, sila retired Major General Mempin, Mr. Monsayak, Mr. Powa, at si Mr. Baluyan, tama ba?
Bali po, Mr. Chair, nauna po ako ng ilang araw, nag-send po ako ng aking resignation letter, nauna po ako ng ilang araw sa kanila, Mr. Chair.
Dahil ito sa kadahilan ng nagbitiw na si Vice President Sara bilang Secretary ng Department of Education.
That's one of the reasons, Mr. Chair, and I also wanted to respect the decision of the next secretary as to whom he should be, who he wants to be appointed for the position that I was handling at that time.
At nung kayo ay nag-resign sa Department of Education, kayo naman ay nailipat sa Office of the Vice President, tama po ba?
I applied, Mr. Chair, as one of the employees po of the Vice President's office.
Ano ang posisyon mo sa Office of the Vice President?
At the moment, Mr. Chair, I'm the Director for the Strategic Management Operations. Strategic Management Office, SMO Office po.
Ano yung layunin ng iyong ano ang layunin ng Strategic Management Office?
I handle...
Ano yung trabaho mo?
Sorry, Mr. Chair. Okay, I handle 3 divisions po, the Knowledge Management Division, the Management Information Systems Division, as well as the Planning Division po. So we handle the matters on planning, on the knowledge management, as well as the information systems po, like yung sa technology IT po na division.
Ano ang experience ninyo at ikaw ay nilagay, no, bilang direktor ng Strategic Management Office? Sa iyong palagay, kwalipikado ka ba?
I believe so, Mr. Chair, because my papers and my application was submitted to the Civil Service Commission and it was also approved by them.
Okay. Balikan natin ulit, no, noong November 11, 2024, nag-issue ang committee ito ng contempt order or arrest order laban sa'yo dahil hindi ka nag-a-attend ng hearing.
Yes, Mr.
Noong
Chair.
November 14, 2024, nakatanggap ang committee ito ng letter na nagsasabi na ikaw nasa official business sa Southern Mindanao Satellite Office noong November 9 up to November 15. Tama ba?
I received a travel order, Mr. Chair, and I left Manila po on November 9 so that I can help out or monitor the Thanksgiving activities in Davao City, supposedly.
Sa mga aktibidades na ito, ano ang partisipasyon ninyo?
Supposedly, Mr. Chair, I was to monitor the Thanksgiving activities. Unfortunately, I wasn't really able to attend any of these because when the arrest order came out po November 11, I was so afraid already. I did not go out of the house anymore. So I informed po the office that I actually informed the office and the Vice President that I did not attend the activities, Mr. Chair, because medyo natakot po talaga ako nung lumabas na yung arrest order. So nagstay lang po ako sa bahay ng ate ko sa Davao City.
So hindi ka nag-participate sa ginawang activities ng OVP sa Southern Mindanao Satellite Office?
Yes, Mr. Chair. I did not participate and due to fear po of being seen because of the arrest order, Mr. Chair.
Kanino mo sinabi na nasa bahay ka lang o hindi ka nag-participate?
I actually informed the Vice President, Mr. Chair, and I also texted Asek Lemuel, but I'm not sure if he received it because hindi rin ako naka-receive ng response at that time.
Okay. Hindi ka nagpaalam kay Attorney Solayca Lopez?
Hindi po ako nagpaalam direct sa kanya because I was thinking, Mr. Chair, that she was still in the United States at that time. I did not know that she already went home or went back home.
Okay. Kilala mo si si Miss Zulaika Lopez?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Gaano na kayo katagal magkakilala?
When I started working for the Office of the City Mayor, Mr. Chair, in 2011, she was already the city administrator at that time.
Siya ang chief of staff, no? At undersecretary ng OVP. Nung panahon kayo ay nagtatrabaho sa Department of Education. Tama ba?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
So, balik po tayo unti, no? Nung panahong nasa Department of Education po kayo, habang kayo po ay HEA o Assistant Secretary ni Vice President sa DepEd, madalas ka rin bang pumunta sa Office of the Vice President?
Actually, Mr. Chair, hindi po. Kasi hindi ko po maiwan yung Office of the Secretary. So, mabibilang pa lang po ng 5 daliri ko yung pagpunta ko doon. Depende lang po pag pag mayroon silang ni-invite. Like, I was invited in one of their events, like yung Halloween po, na judging ng kanilang mga events. Ganun po na klase lang ang pagpunta ko doon.
So, hindi ka madalas ipatawag ni
No,
Vice
Mr.
President
Chair.
Sara? Okay. Asawa mo si Ginoong Edward Fajarda.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Tama po ba? Si Edward ba ay nagtatrabaho rin sa ilalim ni VP Sara noong mayor pa siya ng Davao?
No, Mr. Chair, he wasn't.
Okay. Si Edward, siya yung na-appoint, di ba, na bilang Special Disbursing Officer sa DepEd, tama?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Sabay kayo ni Edward na nagtrabaho sa Department of Education?
Nauna rin lang po ako ng 1 month, Mr. Chair. He started with the Department of Education in August 1. I started July 1, 2022 po.
At noong July 2024, kayo ay nag-resign sa Department of Education. Kasabay nila Yusek Michael Powa, Asek Reynold Monsayak, Yusek Nolasco Mempin, at Asek Baluyan. Tama ba?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
At ikaw din ay nag-resign sa DepEd kasama ni Mr. Edward Fajarda. Tama ba?
That's correct, Mr. Chair.
Ngayong panahon na ito, ano ang tungkulin mo o responsibilidad mo sa OVP?
As I've mentioned already kanina, Mr. Chair, I'm the Director for the Strategic Management Office po.
Okay. Kung maaalala ho natin, no, noong nakaraang hearing, sinabi, no, ni Yusek Gloria Jumamil Mercado na inabutan mo siya ng puting envelope na may nakasulat na hope. Ang ibig sabihin ng hope, tingin mo ano ibig sabihin ng hope?
I believe that's the head of procuring entity, Your Honor.
Okay. So, yun nga ang sinabi niya, inabutan mo siya ng sobre na nagkakalaman ng 50,000.
Allegedly, Mr. Chair, yes.
Kaya nga, yun nga yung sinabi niya, no?
Yes po.
At sinabi rin ni Ms. Catalan, ang Chief Accountant ng DepEd, sinabi rin niya noon na inabutan mo rin siya ng pera na galing sa confidential fund. Miss Shine, matagal na kayong nagtatrabaho kay VP Sara. Masasabi mo ba na loyal ka sa kanya?
I am loyal, Mr. Chair, to anybody whom I'm working for because that's part of my job po as an employee.
Siyempre, no? Siguro naman, dahil sa sobrang tagal nyo na magkakilala ni Vice President Sara Duterte, hinire ka niya sa Davao, tapos dinala ka niya o nag-apply ka at tinanggap ka niya sa Department of Education, at nung nag-resign ka, nag-apply ka rin sa Office of the Vice President at ikaw tinanggap niya. Masasabi natin na talagang loyal ka, no? Kay Vice President Sara.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
At dahil sa matagal na kayong nagtatrabaho kay VP Sara, no? Naging heya ka niya sa Department of Education. Ano ang kadalasang trabaho na pinapagawa niya sa iyo?
As Head Executive Assistant, Mr. Chair, it's actually similar to my role as ASEC. Mas nadagdagan lang po yung ASEC. It's still administration po, general administration of the Office of the Secretary proper, supervision of the people inside the Office of the Secretary proper, assisting her during the field visitations, helping her with meetings and technical na requirements. And there was also a time when I was helping her or drafting department orders on behalf of the Office of the Secretary.
Talagang napakadami mong ginagawa sa kanya at talagang masasabi natin dahil sa sobrang dami ng iyong obligasyon sa iyong trabaho sa kanya, talagang masasabi natin na pinagkakatiwalaan ka niya. Tama ba?
I believe so, Mr. Chair.
Nung naging heya at Assistant Secretary ka ng DepEd, kilala nyo si Yusek Gloria Mercado, tama ba?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Si Director Resty Osayas?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Si Miss Runa Catalan?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Now, balikan natin, no? Nung yung sinabi ni Yusek Gloria Mercado. Sinabi nila no nakaraang hearing, isiniwalat nila sa komiting ito na inabutan mo daw sila ng puting envelope na naglalaman ng malaking pera. So dahil hindi ka nagpakita sa mga panong ito, hindi ka nabigyan ng pagkakataon para sagutin yung mga akusasyong ito. Totoo ba na inabutan mo sila ng sobre o nagsisinungaling silang tatlo?
Respectfully, Mr. Chair, I would not want to answer that question. May I explain if I be allowed? In the previous hearings, Mr. Chair, there have been those allegations which insinuated that I committed these illegal acts. There were actually some crimes that were mentioned. And as such, if I'm going to answer those allegations, Mr. Chair, respectfully, I would want to answer them in a proper forum wherein I will be able to present my defenses based on the completeness of the said allegations, Mr. Chair.
Hindi, tinatanong lang naman kita kung meron kang inabot o wala. It is answerable by yes or no. Kung wala, sabihin mo wala. Kung meron, sabihin mo meron.
I will not answer, Mr. Chair, respectfully po. I already stated my reason for such.
So you are invoking your right for self-incrimination?
I will not answering, Mr. Chair, as I've already informed you of the reason for such.
Okay. Sige, interject ko. If you want.
Mr. Chair?
Please proceed.
Mr. Chair, I hope you understand po, with the respectfully through the chairman, Attorney Fajarda, we have rules po kasi in the committee, and refusal to answer is a ground for contempt. We would much prefer if you would choose to invoke your right, please do so. Do not say that you're refusing to answer. If you are very welcome to invoke your right, but we need to hear it from you po.
I stand by my answer in the previous answer that I've given to Honorable Kongkun, Mr. Chair.
That you refuse to answer.
Yes, Mr. Chair, because I will only answer in a proper forum where I will be able to present my defenses po.
You refuse to answer yet you do not invoke the right.
It's in the same manner, Mr. Chair, that I am saying that I refuse to answer such questions po.
Well, Mr. Chair, we leave it to the committee on how they would appreciate that answer. We just had to clarify whether this was an invocation of the right. Thank you, Ms. Fajardo.
Mr. Chair,
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, may I interject? May I follow up, Mr. Chair? Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Mr. Chair. So again, I would like to reiterate the question of Congressman Rog Gutierrez. Your answer, would that in effect invoking your right against self-incrimination?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Yeah. Because you've mentioned about the proper forum, so I would presume that the proper forum is the court. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chair. So you are invoking your right against self-incrimination.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay. But Mr. Chair, but that does not mean that she is denying the allegation. She's just merely invoking her right against self-recrimination. To me, Mr. Chair, that's my own interpretation. That's it's one way of saying that I admit, but this is not the proper code to discuss that. Thank you, Mr. Chair. That's a manifestation po. And that is my personal interpretation.
I understand, Mr.
Thank
Chair.
you, Mr. Chair.
We will respect your right against self-incrimination. Next. Yes, please continue, Congressman Kong.
So, base sa tatlong opisyales no, ng Department of Education, katulad sa mga pahayag nila Yusek Mercado, Ms. Catalan, at Director Usayas, kayo po ay nagbigay no, sa kanila, no, o Director Usayas, no, kayo po ay nagbigay sa kanila ng sobre, binigyan niyo po sila ng pera, at katulad nga po ng sinasabi nila, ito ay galing no, sa confidential fund ng Department of Education. Ngayon, kung hindi niyo po masasagot ng diretso ito, igagalang ko po yung inyong karapatan na hindi sagutin. Kaya lang hindi mo maiiwasan no, ang committing ito no, na mag-isip no, kung totoo nga ba no, ang sinasabi ni Yusek Mercado, ni Ms. Catalan at ni Director Usayas. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. The next to interpolate is Congressman Sia Alonto Adjong.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to be enlightened, and if you may, Ms. Farda, you walk me through on how the utilization of the confidential funds pertaining to the issuances of the disbursement liquidation report, the checks, and the disbursement vouchers, if you may. This is also in line with the attempt of this representation to really fully understand on how you comply with the joint circular. No? So you just walk me through. Ms. Fajarda, last hearing, Yusek Mercado says na ikaw ang nag-abot sa kanya. Ikaw nag-abot sa kanya ng cheque na nagkakalaga ng 37.5 million. These are 3 checks, which amounts to 112.5 million in total. Para kanyang pirmahan yung releasing of the confidential funds ng DepEd noong 2023. Would you confirm that, Ms. Fajarda?
That is false, Mr. Chair. I never gave any checks to Ms. Mercado, number one. And number two, Mr. Chair, I am not involved in any way in the utilization of the confidential funds. Respectfully, Mr. Chair.
Okay, so you are saying that you never in any way secured the signatures of Ms. Yusek Mercado?
Yes, Mr. Chair. I never
Categorically.
secured any of her signatures.
So what you're saying is that Ms. Yusek Mercado is the one lying, is that correct?
I'm not also saying that, Mr. Chair. I wasn't really able to listen to what she said, but I did not give her any checks, nor did I request her to sign any checks.
Okay. According to Ms. Mercado also, the checks that were requested for her to sign should also be supported by a signature from Annalyn Sevilla. Would you know Annalyn Sevilla?
Yes, Mr. Chair. She's under a secretary of the Department of Education.
Okay. What is your participation, Risa? Can you walk me through what is exactly your participation in so far as the securing of the signatures for the disbursement to secure the disbursement vouchers?
My participation, Mr. Chair, is ministerial in nature because our setup in the Office of the Secretary, since I am in charge of the admin work, is that the documents for signature of the Vice President goes through me, and then...
Wait,
yes.
po, kasi para maintindihan ko po. Sige, can you please,
My participation, Mr. Chair, in the securing of signatures is ministerial in nature.
Meaning?
Meaning that all the documents in the Office of the Secretary that are for signature of the Vice President goes through me or go through me so that I can have it signed by her.
Yeah, that's correct. So meaning to say, when it comes to, like for example, can we request the COMSEC to show us the disbursement voucher?
COMSEC?
Yeah. So all of these three disbursement vouchers are signed by Vice President Sara Duterte. Now, prior to the signing or releasing of the checks, you have to secure first the disbursement voucher. Am I correct?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
And so the signature of the Vice President Sara Duterte with that of Annalyn Sevilla, as indicated here in the disbursement voucher, if we are to take your answer that you are to secure the signatures, does that mean that you also, in a way, required for this disbursement voucher to present this to Yusek Mercado for the release of the checks?
No, Mr. Chair, I have no transaction whatsoever with Ms. Mercado in relation to the confidential funds.
Okay, so what does the needed signature of the Vice President for the disbursement voucher, what is it for? In this particular monitor, is it for the releasing of the 3 checks? Is it correct?
I believe, Mr. Chair, that is for the processing of the disbursement voucher for the confidential fund.
That's correct. That is correct, and that's what Yusek Mercado said in the previous hearing. In fact, the testimony of Yusek Mercado is it's reinforced and corroborated by the statement of Ms. Catalan. So that voucher is needed to secure the release of the checks. Am I correct?
Yes, Mr. Chair, because it is routed to our office from the accounting office.
So where do you give the vouchers after having all these signatures attached in this? Where do you go from here?
After securing the signature of the Vice President, it has to be returned to the SDO, and then the SDO will be the one to return it to the accounting office.
You mean to say SDO in this case is your husband?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
So it goes back to the SDO?
Yes, because he's the one carrying the documents back to the accounting office.
So your husband is the one going, so siya pupunta doon sa accounting office for the release of this?
Yes, because he's the SDO, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Would you confirm that all these 3 disbursement vouchers correspond to the 37.5 million pesos that were encashed by your husband, Mr. Fajarda?
I do not have the copies of the 3 vouchers, Mr. Chair. But I cannot confirm that because, again, I am not the one involved with the confidential funds. I just request the Vice President to sign, and then it is returned to the accounting office for the standard operating procedure in the processing of said vouchers.
According to the testimony of Land Bank, nagkaroon po ng pirmahan. The checks that were released were signed by Yusek Mercado and Yusek Sevilla on February 20, 2023, April 19, 2023, and July 11, 2023. Would you confirm this, Ms. Sunshine?
I cannot confirm that, Mr. Chair, because again, I am not involved in the confidential funds po.
Okay, but could you at least your husband confirm these dates?
Your Honor, hindi lang po ako sure do sa exact date, but yan po yung month.
Kayo po ba, Mr. Edward, ang payee sa mga cheque na ito?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So you confirm that three checks ay 37 million, tatlo pong ni-release ito. Can we show that again? $37 million amounting to 11.2 million pesos. Tama po ba? Do we confirm that?
Tatlo po yung 37.5 million. Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Edward Harda, ano po yung ginagawa nyo after you have encashed this check?
Your Honor, pag nasa akin na po yung pera, nasa office na po yan, tatawagan ko na po ang security officer na magdi-disburse po ako sa kanya ng pera.
Okay. But before the disbursement, let me go back to Ms. Fajarda. Who ordered you to secure the signature of the Vice President and for other signatures that you needed to affix on the disbursement voucher?
I'm sorry, Mr. Chair. Can you please repeat the question?
Who gave you who ordered you, who told you to secure these signatures?
Mr. Chair, it's part of my job. It's a ministerial...
I know, but who told you that? I mean, I know it's part of your job, but I'm sure somebody has to tell you that we need to secure these checks, get the signatures for the disbursement voucher for the release of these checks. Who told you that?
The accounting office, Mr. Chair, gives us the documents so that it will be signed with the secretary.
Yeah, but who told the accounting office?
May I ask the specific question, Mr. Chair, as to what you are pertaining to po?
I'm trying to understand the confidential part. It cannot be released without the signature and the approval of the principal. Is it correct?
That's the question,
Yes,
Mr. Chair.
I want to understand precisely because what you're saying is your job is only technical, attending meetings, that these are your answers, no? When you were asked before. Technical lang yung yung trabaho mo, and you're also in charge of attending the meetings.
Mr. Chair, that was before in the City Mayor's office in 2011 po.
Okay, but what is your job now in the office of the Department of Education?
My job before in the office of the Office of the Secretary in the Department of Education, in July 2022, Mr. Chair, I was the head executive assistant. In April of 2023, I became the assistant secretary of the Office of the Secretary.
Okay, I want to understand, prior to the submission and the securing of the signatures and the vouchers, gusto ko lang po maintindihan, is it the accounting that is telling you na you need to secure the signatures?
I believe, Mr. Chair, it's the SDO which already informs the accounting, because after he mentioned a while ago that there is a fiscal and financial plan. After that, he is the one who informs the accounting.
Do you have that fiscal and financial plan with you?
I do not have a copy of that
Mr. Chair?
document,
Yeah,
Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Mr. Chair, may I request that we require the submission of this technical and
Fiscal and financial plan.
Fiscal and financial plan, Mr. Chair. That's a motion so that we can understand how the workings within your department has come to the utilization of the confidential funds. We want to understand that because
Mr. Chair, it has already been submitted po, I believe.
Can we ask the COMSEC if we can confirm that there is also already a submission of that?
Your Honor, the Secretariat has yet to receive or has not yet received the PFP, Your Honor.
So, do you stand by with your answer that you have already submitted?
I believe that it was already submitted by COA, Mr. Chair, because it is part of the submissions of the DepEd.
Wala pa. Wala pa? COMSEC?
None, Chair. What was submitted was part of the confidential funds, which was also submitted to the Committee on Appropriations, subject of a different subpoena to SESTECOM by this committee to the Commission on Audit. There was no PFP attached, only disbursement vouchers, liquidation reports. Yun lang pong maalala ko sa documents
So at any rate, I move that we request for the submission of the financial plan. Physical and financial
Mr.
plan.
Fajarda will submit, Mr. Chair, because he's the one handling the documents po for the confidential funds.
I don't care who's going to submit it. We just require for your department to submit it to the committee, okay? Now, let me go back to Mr. Fajarda. Just want to understand. Tama po ba you in cash personally?
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh, kasi yun po yung sinabi ng Land Bank kanina. So you are using duffel bags for the encashment of this 112 billion pesos, no? 0.5.
37 po per quarter. 37.5.
Per quarter, yeah.
Opo.
So amounting to 112.5 million pesos.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah, that's correct. So ano po yung ginagawa nyo dito before the releasing of these confidential funds or the distribution or the payment for rewards or whatever? What do you do with that? Do you directly use that and go to the areas where you do the payment? Or,
Your Honor, hindi po.
ano pong ginagawa nyo doon?
Dinidisburse ko lang po yan sa security officer.
Sino po yung security officer ninyo?
Si
Right away?
Your Honor, tumatawag po ako sa kanya. Then magkikita po kami sa DepEd.
Saan po kayo nagkikita doon sa DepEd?
Sa DepEd po. Minsan po sa office po ng BPSPG. Minsan sa bar. Kung saan po safe. Pero sa DepEd lang po.
Within the DepEd?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ano pong pangalan nila?
Colonel Nolasco po. Dennis Nolasco. Colonel Dennis Nolasco po.
Dennis Nolasco. So hindi nyo ho siya dinadala sa office or din-deposit?
Nasa office po siya pero hindi ko po din-deposit.
Yeah, how big is your office pala? Yung office space?
Malaki po, malaki. Hindi naman po kalakihan pero tama lang po.
Okay. Let me go back to Ms. Fajarda. The previous hearing, Ms. Catalan also said to this committee that ikaw ang nag-request sa kanya ng mag-sign sa mga liquidation reports for the first, second, and third quarter ng 2023 pertaining to the confidential funds. Is this correct? Do you confirm this?
No, Mr. Chair, I want to correct that. I did not request her to sign. What I said was prepare the documents because the SDO already has to sign it po. Because Ms. Catalan, before she signs, I believe the SDO has to sign first, and then from the SDO, it's to the principal, and then Ms. Catalan. So they have to prepare the documents for the signature of the 3 signatories.
Mag-subscribe at i-click ang notification bell para sa mga susunod na video updates. Maraming salamat po.